Today, I would like to talk about letting go of items that we are holding onto out of fear. And I'm going to use some of my own examples for this back in what I call my 2020 years, while during the pandemic, when everyone was like, please stay away from hospitals and whatnot, we just decided we were going to live in them because of all the crazy things that were happening for our family. It wasn't even COVID, guys. Like, COVID was really nothing compared to everything else. RSV was, that was the kicker, guys. That was one where they're like, hey, we'll probably have to admit your kid. That's the one where the emergency room, we're like, we're here again. Yeah. Here's a tip for you guys. This is my public service announcement. Is RSV, what it did is it caused horrible ear infections in multiple of my kids, and my little one especially was just oozing. It was so bad. And so I wiped it out and then took her to the doctors and was like, hey, she has an ear infection. Don't do that. They were just like, here's some drops, whatever. The next day, they were just oozing, just dripping down. It was so gross. And so this time, I took her back. And I didn't wipe it out. And it's bad when the doctor finally gets in there. And the first thing he says is, whoa, can I take a picture of that? Like, I've got to send it to my medical student. Okay, I feel validated that I am here once again in the doctor's office. It was bad. Anyways, moving on. Another thing that happened was my husband was in a horrible biking accident and he broke his neck. Hold on. Well, here's another, public service announcement for you is helmets. Helmets actually saved his life, and not just any helmet. Hold on, I don't know if you can see like that. That's indented and it's like totally cracked right here. So, anyways, wear a helmet. But the other thing with helmets is this helmet actually has MIPS in it. This one's been destroyed, but it's a thing that's supposed to protect the spine. So if you ever decide to fly over your handlebars like Superman and land on your head, your spine's going to be protected. And that is something he definitely was like, yeah, those definitely, I could feel them working and keeping his spine from twisting. All of our helmets now have MIPS in them. We will not buy a helmet that doesn't. Always. There's like a shock wave technology, things like that can also do the same thing. But always wear a helmet, and it is so worth it to get the ones that will give you the extra protection to protect your spine. There's another thing, because that is actually what saved him from his injury being so much worse. And it actually ended up being a blessing at breaking your neck. And how can that be a blessing? Well, it was because that is how we found his cancer. And we're like, okay, now we got to do that too. So needless to say, between the emergency room visits and the testing to figure out what was happening with other children and struggles and medical issues going on there, and then the neck and the cancer and and then a brand new baby, and it was a lot. It was a lot. And we ended up with a lot of medical stuff in our house. And no, I didn't want to get rid of all of that because that was a very traumatizing time in life. There are certain things that it is good. It's good to be vigilant about. For example, my husband still goes and does cancer screenings. Like, that is just a smart thing to do to make sure that everything is still good, because he's fine. By the way, it wasn't that big, but when everything else, you're like, okay, so he's fine. But he still does the cancer screenings to, stay up on it. And that is a smart thing to do. However, something that was fear-based was holding on to a neck brace. I was just so worried he was going to get in an accident again and that he was going to hurt his neck and he would need a neck brace. Well, this has just been sitting in a closet, for one. It's not like he takes it on all the crazy adventures he goes on. And, he doesn't take it wherever he goes. So it's not even going to do him any good anyway if he does get injured. And sitting in a closet is just taking up space. And another thing is when I actually pulled it out, we kind of laughed over that we had saved it for so long, because I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, probably. Like, do you see how yellow this is? Like, it is so gross. And like all the other little pieces to it were like, here's another comparison. We're like, that's pretty nasty. I don't even know why, in the end we're like, oh yeah, you just wore it for 3 months straight. It's fine. We'll use it again. No, if he needs it, he's not going to have it because it's in the closet. And if he does need one, we're just going to get another one, and he better not. So it's something I realized keeping this was strictly out of fear and anxiety about what if something bad is going to happen. It is good to prepare for things. I am all for, like, hey, our area has natural disasters. Let's prepare for those natural disasters. Things like that. Or preparing for another pandemic, which a lot of hospitals are doing now, to have those supplies. Those are smart things to be doing. But there are things that are a little more irrational, where it's like, I'm so scared this is going to happen, so I'm going to just hold on to this and keep it. Even though it's nasty, it's not effective, it's not going to be any help to anyone. It's just same like the expired medication. It was something that was mainly fueling anxieties. So we let those things go. This is another thing. It's like, this can go. We don't need to hold on to things because of the traumas of our past or because of anxieties and fears of what if something happens again, when it's not really a rational thing to even be keeping. That is something we can let go and free ourselves from those fears and anxieties and say, nope, I don't need to stay stuck in the past. I am living my life now. Permission to let go and live your best life now. You're worth it.